From the Denver Broncos Media Center, welcome to Broncos Country Tonight with Ryan Edwards and Benjamin Allbright.
Broncos Country Tonight, as we are joined in studio by the great Steve Atwater, Broncos Ring of Famer, Hall of Famer. What up, Steve?
What up, R. Edwards?
Good to have you here. And Benjamin Allbright, of course, is back as well. I want to talk a little bit about defending Russell Wilson. This was a fun topic from Justin Simmons, who spoke with the media earlier this week. And I love the point he made about in practice how Russell Wilson would get up quick to the line, and where they're still trying to figure out where they want to be, he's sort of pressing them early on. He called it the game within the game. So I'd love to know from your perspective, what does that look like, especially from a DB's perspective?
Oh, man, it's extremely challenging. It puts a lot of pressure on your defense, especially if you haven't gotten the call in and, you're trying to get the call from the sideline and the offense is coming to the line of scrimmage. And so the stress is building and building and building. But even if you have the call from the sidelines, you still got to see some things that the offense is doing. You got to see what side of the field is the tight end going to, or both receivers going to the same side of the field or different sides of the field. You got to map out so many things. So many things have to go through your mind quickly versus if they're going at a normal pace. And, you get the call and you got the call and you see them breaking the huddle. You're like nice and relaxed. But when they rush up to that line of scrimmage, it puts a lot of pressure on you as a defense, all the different positions on the defense.
It's a different level of quarterback play than the Broncos have had in a little while. And I think that goes without saying. But it's like when we talk about Peyton Manning and Russell Wilson and what they bring to the practice field even, that is sort of like, you got to have a certain level of confidence in yourself, a certain level of ability. The defense has to believe that you're going to be able to beat them in a multitude of ways. Now, Russell Wilson and Peyton Manning have a different setup, right? They're not the same kind of quarterback. But I think the way they approach practice, the way they approach the field is similar.
Yeah, and Russ could learn a lot about scrambling as a quarterback from watching Peyton on that naked boot against Dallas.
Yeah, very clearly.
No,
I'm sure he has it on repeat.
Right, yeah, I just was watching that. Okay, so this is how you run it. I think that, I think you're right. I mean, you do have to, as a quarterback, you got to have a certain amount of confidence in yourself to inspire your teammates. And, I mean, they're not going to believe in you if you don't believe in you. And defenses, they're going to get that from playing against you. They're going to be, okay, this guy can play, this guy can't play. I mean, you're going to figure that out pretty quick. But I think you do. I think you have to approach it with a certain sense of confidence. You have to be the guy to go out there, calm the huddle. You got to be the guy to go out there and say, okay, you go run the route. I'll get, you get open, I'll get it to you. That kind of thing. And if you've got that kind of relationship with your guys and you get that kind of resume, and Russ has that kind of resume, then I think you have a pretty good chance of being successful.
All right, so from your perspective, from a safety's perspective, okay, defending Russell Wilson, knowing that he's a guy who likes to scramble, so you got to have eyes on him, but at the same time, you got to be worrying about what's going on behind you, because we know the scramble drill for the Seattle Seahawks is, hey, run deep post. So I'd love to know from your perspective as a safety, what's it like defending a guy like Russell Wilson?
Yeah, it's extremely tough. And, again, it depends on what your responsibility is on a particular play. Obviously, if you're a safety and they have some type of safety blitz call, then guess what? You got to be up on that line of scrimmage showing the blitz kind of early to make sure you got to get a running start to time it right. And with a guy like Russ, if he hustles up to the line of scrimmage, guess what you're going to do? You're going to run up quickly to get there, to get in position, and make sure he doesn't quick snap it and you're late. And if you have a coverage where, you're the middle of the field safety, the biggest thing you want to do, you want to disguise the coverage. But again, with the great quarterbacks make you show your coverage by giving you hard counts, make you think that they're going to snap the ball sooner than they really are going to snap it. And they'll make you kind of show what you're doing defensively. But the great safeties and quarterback, they'll go back and forth. The safety will trick the quarterback sometimes, and then sometimes the quarterback will get the safety. But in the end, after the game, you got two great players. You'll be able to shake hands and say, hey, man, great job there.
Also, when he was talking about that, and I think this relates to more the modern quarterback, I mean, Justin Simmons said, hey, these are the quarterbacks we play in the division. These are the quarterbacks we face on our schedule. And again, I think we oftentimes said, well, Drew Lock's got mobility, Teddy Bridgewater's got mobility. Joe Flacco, we never said that. But other quarterbacks we said have mobility. But it's different when it's a quarterback that is considered a mobile quarterback. And again, he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not that guy anymore, right? But he's going to beat you with his legs, and he's going to do it multiple times a game, where, again, that's not something the Broncos, at least on the practice field, have seen.
He's great, still a great athlete. I mean, we saw him put the shake and bake out there on the day one OTAs. We saw him put the shake and bake out there and move around faster than I think people thought he could still move at this age. I still think Russ is a dynamic athlete. This division's filled with great athletes. People might discount Derek Carr. Derek Carr's a 4.6 40 guy.
Derek Carr's a good quarterback. Hey, Derek Carr is one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
I'm just saying he's a good passer. He's underrated as a passer. And by the way, he's a 4.6 40 guy. And nobody ever gives him credit for that. So you've got mobile quarterback. The game is designed for that. You got to be able to stress a defense with your legs as well. And unless you're Joe Flacco, who made Kurt Warner look like Michael Vick, but it's I think at the end of the day, if you're used to practicing against that, and you get to practicing against a great athlete with a great mind like that and a great arm like, I think that just makes everybody better.
Certainly. And again, I'm all thinking about the mobility of a couch and all that stuff with Joe Flacco. but that's we did see that, and Justin Simmons also talked a little bit about the red zone and the challenges that are presented there. So I sort of gave you the example of, hey, between the 20s, not letting anything over your head, but still wanting to be up there on the quarterback. But what about the red zone and the challenge of that? I mean, because you could have everything locked down, and that dude is looking for the smallest crease.
Yeah, look for a smallest crease and knowing, that it presents problems for defenses. Some quarterbacks play quarterback, but they aren't aware of the problem that they create if they're mobile. They don't know that, when the receivers are all covered, that them running the ball creates a unique problem for the defense because sometimes they don't even have anybody covering him. Only way they'll have someone covering it is if they have a particular person spying on the quarterback. Otherwise, the quarterback normally goes unaccounted for in terms of him running the ball. And if you're running some type of man-to-man coverage in the red zone and the quarterback takes off running, it's going to probably be a touchdown because the only people that really see them will be the safeties, and the safeties are yelling, run, run, run. And the guys normally are so entrenched in playing man-to-man on their guys or trailing their guys that they don't see it in time. So it's a big thing, having a quarterback that's mobile and knows the situations where he needs to run in and where they have an advantage.
I was cracking up the last thing here with Justin. I was cracking up when at the end he was talking about how they'll be in practice like, that's a sack. And we see that all the time.
Right,
we're out there training camp. We're seeing like them scream, that's a sack. And then they blow the whistle and also and then he's like acknowledging, but with Russell Wilson,
sometimes
is not really the case. And that is a little bit of a challenge here as a team that wants to get more sacks, wants to get more pressures. That's going to be a bit of a challenge because you can't hit the quarterback in practice. Right. Yet that's something that you very much need to practice out there. And more specifically, you can't hit the quarterback. So I guess, again, not that you were tasked with doing a lot of that, but I mean, what are your thoughts on the fact that this is a team that kind of needs to be able to do that? They need to be able to hit quarterbacks that are mobile and not be juked out of their shoes, but yet you can't really practice that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we couldn't do it even back when we played. We couldn't hit the quarterback. They're not going to let you hit the quarterback in practice. They're not going to let us hit John Elway? Come on.
Red means stop.
But we still had to get in position, and especially the guys who are the contained guys, you got to make sure you stay outside. And, that's where you get hurt the most. You can get juked out in the middle somewhere, but if you get juked out on that edge and just give them all of that room to run outside, that's what really hurts you. And, guys just doing a good job of staying on their feet, keeping them in front of them. I think we'll do a good job of that. But, yeah, the contain is most important.
No doubt. For Benjamin Allbright, Steve Atwater, I'm Ryan Edwards. Thanks, as always, for watching Broncos Country Tonight.